So in all honesty, I only paid a couple bucks for this. It's hit or miss. I had no idea if it was going to be worth 40 bucks or the 540 plus bucks that it sold for. Hey, it's Don. Today I wanted to discuss and address some questions on this, as well as some items that we sold. Now, I bought this, and this is a poster. It's vintage, early. It's dated 1887. Now, when I bought it, I didn't even see that date. I didn't look at it really closely. I was buying a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I have it sealed because it just sold. I only have a couple dollars into this, no exaggeration. It sold for $540. Now, I put it up for $850, I think, is what it was up for. I sent an offer to a watcher, and it did sell. Now, I've had, probably 3 or 4 other offers in the $300-400 range already, which I turned down. I wasn't going to accept one that low after I realized that it was a good one. Now, when I purchased it, it could have just as easily been a $40 item, and that's all I got out of it. Now, the item in question here, this poster, I've repaired it in a couple of spots. It lists that in the description of the listing and the whole works. It looks really nice. It's in pretty decent condition. It is a rare one. It's a Christmas, New Year's Eve advertising poster for a beer company. I'll show you the listing in just a minute here so you can see all the little details on it. When I buy a lot of the stuff that I buy, and a lot of people who do what I do are in the same boat, they just buy a whole bunch of stuff. I buy big lots of stuff because the price is really cheap, and it looks like decent stuff. Now, I really never know until I do an in-depth search on some of these items. Again, whether it's going to be 40 bucks or $541 and some change like it's sold for. You know, I knew it was worth some good money, and I knew it was worth well over what I would pay for it. I knew it was in my $15 bare bones minimum threshold. So, you know, off the bat, I was going to make some money no matter what. Research is what leads you to pricing stuff a certain way and not giving the stuff away. Far too often, I see people selling things far cheaper than they are worth based on things such as other people sold it in that same price range. I don't go by what other people sell things for anymore these days. I go by the true value and what I've seen things sell for and what I've personally sold things for as well. You know, it just takes time to get there. Let's go look at the listing for this one as well as some other items we sold for some phenomenal money as well. Now, this is the actual poster here. It's $875 is the price. Now, it's not a huge item. It's not a big item. Philip Best Brewing Company. It's a New Year's advertising poster. It was printed in 1886, and it advertises the change of the new year. And there's actually, I don't know if I can blow it up, but if you look on the right, you can see the 1887 on the clock. So this is a 1886 advertising poster. It turned up with just a bunch of just junk. Not really junk, I would say, but just stuff that just didn't look like it was going to be very valuable. This doesn't look like much. The size, it's a poster. There's no other way about it. One thing to realize about posters from this age, if they were any bigger than a certain size like this one here, it would have had to have been multi-pieces of paper basically glued together because they didn't have paper printed in mass huge sheets at that time. It was expensive. So this was a little cheaper avenue of it. So anyway, this was a good sale with almost nothing into it. Now here's another item. This is an 1881 James Garfield funeral invitation. He was a Knights Templar, President Garfield. So most of the Knights Templar organizations had a big, huge ceremony and the whole works. This is an invitation that I acquired with some paperwork from Ulysses S. Grant's son. This was included in that paperwork there. This is a true original funeral invitation for his funeral. It would have got you into the funeral itself. Now, I listed it for $125. It sold for 80 bucks. I purchased a massive load of this stuff, and this just happened to be in there. When I purchased it, I didn't look through it all because the price was so good, and I already saw a profit just from the few items that I had looked through. So I never buy anything unless I'm sure I'm going to make a profit. If I don't know for sure, chances are if I can't find anything, I'm not going to buy it. Now, I had shown some ribbons just the other day in a couple different videos. This one already sold for $64.50. I've got another one out the door, I think at $95 already. That's 3 times what I paid for the entire lot, and I've only listed, I think, 11 out of 56 or 57 of these ribbons. So there's already a huge profit. The rest of them are all profit. And you never know until you list some of these. Most of the items that I've been selling and just showed you are one-offs. You're not going to run into this one anytime soon. Maybe there's a few more out there, but they only show up once or so every year or two on eBay. They're that scarce, or at least that unique of an item. Now, I also metal detect occasionally, and this button is something that I personally dug at an Ohio troop campsite that was used from the 1830s, 40s, up until the Civil War here in the state. This is an original 1830s or 40s U.S. artillery button. It probably was an officer's, but I can't say for sure. It looked like there was a little bit of silver. An officer would have had silver buttons usually back in the time frame. It's authentic, it's real, it came out of the ground in front of me. So this one sold for $36.50. Now, dolls, TV, comic book related items sell phenomenally well for us. This little grouping of Little Orphan Annie's items sold for $44.50 plus shipping. All the items I'm talking about here were plus shipping. I never include free shipping on anything. It's just a few small little dolls there, and then the large size. They were marked, well identifiable originals from 1982. Little Orphan Annie has actually taken off. Annie the musical has taken off. So all of this stuff is still fairly hot, even right now, right this minute. But these are items most people would think wouldn't carry much of a value. Now, I've talked about posters. I sell quite a few posters. This one went for $24.50. I had a second one of these that also sold in the $29.99 range. So 2 of these were out the door in about a 2-week time span. Price-wise into this, I have nothing. I sold a few right off the bat and got all my money back on them. Another one from that very same purchase, so I have nothing really into this, $24.84 this one sold for. Now, some of these, I don't even know who the band is, in all honesty. They're obscure, smaller band, but they have a following, and that's what matters. You don't have to know the band. Usually the obscure ones, all of this kind of sort of thing sells very easily for us. Now, we sell a lot of postcards, and this is a fairly well-produced Halloween card. Now, it's not in perfect condition. It has a little bit of issues on the back. I got $30 out of it. I'm happy with that because this one I paid $1 for. So at $1, I can't go wrong with a $30 return. It's a cute card as well. Nice artwork, so it's a display piece. Someone may even go ahead and do a craft thing out of this exact piece. Now, here's another postcard, and this is a real photo, real picture postcard. Has some issues. There is some, I'm not sure if it's discoloration or something was setting on top of it or what. It was canceled on the top, so there are some markings on it. It's just an oddball image, so it's one of those things that you just never know. Now, what's interesting about this one here is we actually had it titled wrong, and somebody else pointed out, hey, this is the city that this is from. I changed it, and it sold pretty much maybe within a day or two after that for $25. So one little single typo in a listing title can mean the difference between it selling and not selling. That's why it's important to take every extra effort you can to make sure that you have the correct information in your title. Now, I do a lot of tobacco-related items. I love tobacco cards. Now, we've sold tobacco cards for $500 to $1,000, so the value is always there. Never seen this one before. I still have one more from the series. This person bought 2 of them for $125, I think, shipped. Of course, it's half of what my list price is, but my list price is a 3X. I've talked about it before, so that's a real good sale for me. I still made more than my bottom end on this piece. I literally, again, have maybe $1 at best into this at the initial purchase. Sold some stuff from the lot, so this is just gravy. I have nothing into this one, nor do I have anything into this one either. Easy sales, easy one for us. It sat up for about 4 weeks to get that price. The same person who I sent some offers to countered. We went back and forth. for those 4 weeks, and he finally settled at my price, what I was looking for, because he didn't want to let them go. He had the other 2 that complete this 4-card set as well. Now, the last 2 items here are items I literally spent $1 single for and took a chance on it. They've been up for 2+ years, both of these items. I never take anything down. There's never a need to take it down the way eBay does things these days. This is a burl wood. It's a chunk of burl wood that's been cut out and turned into a trinket dresser box. This one was up again for quite some time. I sold it for $33 plus shipping. I got $1 into it. You know, maybe I could have held on to it for 2 more years and maybe got what I wanted out of it, maybe got 50 bucks of it. For the $1 investment, who cares at this point? I have nothing else into it. Final values, fees, and the whole works. We're still going to make 25 or more bucks out of this after fees. Now, this last item is another one of those $1 purchases. This was black in color when I found it. So I've actually cleaned it up, spent about maybe 5 or so minutes cleaning this up. Now, this is dated 1881. It's Derby Silver, which is a very well-known company. They did a ton of things. This is a honey and a syrup pitcher. So it's got a special, I think you can kind of see it up there. So this is a little different. It was a unique piece. Chances are no one has a set piece to this. Chances are no one else would mess with it. So the person who bought it, I have to assume, is into oddball or unique items here, or has a specific use for this. Now, this one sold, I believe we got 25 plus shipping, so around $31 shipped out the door on this one here. Again, it was $1. The purchase that this came from paid for itself over and over again within the first week. I usually always list the valuable stuff in a couple items just to get my money back. So if I hold on to tens of thousands of pieces for inventory here, back stock, I usually have nothing into it. So in those cases, it's not hurting me at all, other than the space that it takes up. And with listing it on eBay, once it's up, there's no other investment. It just turns into passive income. So when it sells, boom, I've got some more money. Now, a lot of these items are stuff that I know would get us some money, but I don't know exactly how much when I buy them. Most, as I said earlier in this video, most of the items I'm purchasing here are one-offs. I'm not going to be able to find one identical to it. So I'm able to price a large chunk of these by similar items, maybe not necessarily the same company, but the same style, the same level of company. The box, for an example, that we just showed you, the burlwood. There's other ones up there. You're just not going to run into the same one because all burlwoods are different. Like this piece here, there are several other syrup and honey pourers, pitchers like this on eBay. Not the same pattern, not the same style, not even from the same era, but there's enough to judge on price-wise, structure-wise. Once these were listed, I just left them. I listed them and forgot about them until they sold. There's no big deal about leaving stuff online. We do end and sell similar, so they're always refreshed in our store. So they never get stale, so to speak, in the store. It just takes the right person online at the right time for these sorts of items to sell, and that is literally it. I don't care if it's been up for 2 years or 2 minutes. They all have the same potential of selling. Once it's up, who cares again if they stay up online? Unless you have a lot of money into it, this stuff pretty much pays for itself. I increase the amount of items that I have up by keeping stuff up for length of time, and then I have no concerns after that because so many things are up that stuff is always, always, always turning over and selling. That's how our business works, and it works very, very well. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Madam Gypsy, what do you see?
Nothing on an empty stomach.
Your future needs flavors of fruit. My snoot knows the route. Just follow my nose.
I smell fruits.
It always knows.
Kellogg's Fruit Loops.
With natural orange, lemon, and cherry flavors. Part of this complete breakfast with a full day supply of vitamin C. Now what do you see?
Another bowl.
Never before in this galaxy. Free Starbots. Star travelers you transform and put together. One free in Fruit Loops.